Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari. Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupad, Hamsa, Parivrajagacharya, Ashtatarashata Shishimad, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajagacharya, Ashtatarashata Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnavarinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopana Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai, New Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Go to Premanande. Matthias, there's a book in the audio closet called Samadhi's book. Can you grab that book for me, please? Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right, so let's see here. 9th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Liberation. That's titled Liberation. Chapter 8, the sons of Sagar meet Lord Kapiladev. So text 13. I think it's 12 and 13, but I'll just read 12 and then we could chant 13 together. So this is 12. It is sometimes argued that the sons of King Sagara were burned to ashes by the fire emanating from the eyes of Kapila Muni. This statement, however, is not approved by great learned persons, for Kapila Muni's body is completely in the mode of goodness, and therefore cannot manifest the mode of ignorance in the form of anger, just as the pure sky cannot be polluted by the dust of the earth. Okay, please repeat after me. Yes, ye rita sankyamayi dridheha naur yaya mumukshus tarate daratyayam bhavarnavam mrityu patam vipaschitaha paratma bhutasya katam kritan matihi. Yes, yeritas. Is that the right one? Yes, thank you. Yes, yerita sankyamayi dridhe naur yaya mumukshus tarate daratyayam pavarnavam mrityu-patam vipaschita paratma-bhutasya katam pritanmatihi. So is this first line considered like a little irregular? Okay, with that ha? Okay. Yes, yerita sankyamayi didhe ha yet now. Yaya mumukshus tarate daratyayam pavarnavam mrityu-patam vipaschita paratma-bhutasya katam pritanmatihi. Yasirita sankyamayi drideha naur yaya mumukshus tarate daratyayam pavarnavam mrityu-patam vipaschita paratma-bhutasya katam pritanmatihi. Please chant. Would you like to chant, Vanessa, if you're there?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yasya rita sanka ya maitri dehana yaya mumukshushtarate duratyayam Varnavam mrityapatam vipashita Paratma bhutasya katam pratanmatihi.
Chad, are you there? Dravida Prabhu's asking if you're there. Are you there? Okay. All right. Please repeat. Yasya. By whom? Irita had been explained. Sankhya-mayi, having the form of the philosophy, having the form of the philosophy analyzing the material world. Sankhya philosophy. Drida, very strong. To deliver people from this material world. Iha, in this material world. Now a boat. Diya, by which? Mumukshuhu, a person desiring to be liberated. Tarate, can cross over. Taratyam, very difficult to cross. Bhava Arnavam, the ocean of nescience. Mrityupatam, a material life of repeated birth and death. Vipaschitaha, of a learned person. Paratma-bhūtasya, who has been elevated to the transcendental platform. Katam, how? Pritak-matihi, a sense of distinction between enemy and friend. Yeah, I was just remembering your son, Vanessa, how he was at the Rath Yatra, and before the parade, there's people with the bubble machines. I don't know if anybody saw that. They're all like putting so many bubbles on him, and he's having a good time. So good.
That was very sweet. I'll always remember.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, Giridhari Priya Prabhu, he came all the way down from Santa Barbara once again. So last night, and he's leaving this morning. Quick trip. just Radha Giridhari. So Radha Giridhari is looking very beautiful today. We should give Giridhari Priya some special prasadam for coming all the way down here. You got special prasadam? Got the burfi? Okay, good. All right. Okay, translation. Kapila Muni enunciated in this material world the Sankhya philosophy, which is a strong boat with which to cross over the ocean of nescience, ignorance. Indeed, a person eager to cross the ocean of the material world may take shelter of this philosophy, and such a greatly learned person, situated on the elevated platform of transcendence, how can there be any distinction between enemy and friend? Purport. One who is promoted to the transcendental position, brahma-bhūta, is always jubilant, prasannātmā. He is unaffected by the false distinctions between good and bad in the material world. Therefore, such an exalted person is samasarveshu bhuteshu. That is to say, he is equal toward everyone, not distinguishing between friend and enemy. Because he is on the absolute platform, free from material contamination, he is called paratma-bhūta or brahma-bhūta. Kapila Muni, therefore, was not at all angry at the sons of Sagara Maharaj. Rather, they were burnt to ashes by the heat of their own bodies. Om Ganativadandas Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulan Maditamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Kam Gridvachalam Bangam Langa Tegri Mikripatamaham Bande Shigurun Diditaranam Vansha Kapadi Bishta Kripasan Bevacha Paditanam Bhavanibyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So translation once more. Kapila Muni enunciated in this material world the Sankhya philosophy, which is a strong boat with which to cross the ocean of nescience. Indeed, a person eager to cross the ocean of the material world may take shelter of this philosophy, which we hear of in the third canto. In such a greatly learned person, situated on the elevated platform of transcendence, how can there be any distinction between enemy and friend? So we hear earlier in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai Pumso Paro Dhammayato Bhakti Hoksajay, that one should, in order to be fully satisfied, a soul has to engage in uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service to Krishna. Of course, when we say unmotivated, it means there's no material motivation. It's not that we serve Krishna for some material reasons. So just out of love for Krishna, so unmotivated and uninterrupted. And by engaging in such devotional service that is uninterrupted and unmotivated, no material motivation, that can completely satisfy us. And as we have experience, we all have experience personally and also by observing the world, that everyone is pleasure-seeking beings. We have to have some type of pleasure, some happiness. That's part of who we are. And we see that because Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure. He's also full of pleasure. Anandamayo Bhyasa. So we are also full of pleasure, means the soul. But we hear Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita say that the problem comes when people, they try to find their pleasure in things that are temporary. And when people try to find their pleasure in things that are temporary, they are always disappointed. There's always dissatisfaction there. One can never be satisfied. And actually, trying to find one's pleasure in the temporary is the source of the greatest misery, actually. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So the real platform of happiness, or the real happiness of the soul, is when a soul can reawaken their pure love for God, or their pure love for Krishna. And that will bring us full satisfaction. So to the degree, because we could always talk about degrees, right? Because is it 100%? Is it 50%? Is it 20%? How much am I surrendered, for example? Am I surrendered to Krishna 100%, 80%, 70%? Maybe today 50%, tomorrow 40%? I don't know. So it depends to the degree. So to the degree one is engaged in the loving service of Krishna in an uninterrupted, unmotivated way, to that degree one is satisfied. Now when we think about this idea, this path of happiness, or the path of satisfaction, of satisfying us really being satisfied, the soul, how many people know this in the world? How many people know this? Of course, we could say, well, how many people have realized this, or how many people theoretically know this? But it is this information is lacking in the world, and the application of this information is lacking in the world. And because of that, there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of cruelty going on in the world. Just like here in this verse, we're hearing about friends and enemies. Someone who is realized, self-realized, they don't see like that. This is an enemy, this is a friend, but they see everyone as part and parcel of Krishna. They see everyone equally. They're not absorbed in the good and bad of this world. So if one is able to come to this platform, then this is the real platform of satisfaction, real platform of peace and for the individual and collectively. But unfortunately, people, they are trying to find their satisfaction or their happiness in a mirage. Of course, we like to use this one when we're in Tucson, right? Desert example. They call one of their programs they have regularly their mantra oasis. So you have to use the terminology of the place, but in a mirage. So when we think of mirage, it's a real good example of Maya. What does Maya mean? Maya means that which is not. It looks like something, but it's not that. So, for example, our teacher Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas, they give the example of a snake. Who's scared of snakes here? Nobody? Okay, you're all Javita Prabhu. Okay. We got your cane though. Right? So, but if you're walking on in a farm, for example, and all of a sudden there's a snake, and what to speak of a venomous snake. So if you think you get very fearful. But if you realize, oh, it's just a rope, then the fear's automatically gone. Or vice versa. If you look at that example, if we see you understand. So the idea is that in this, the material existence is like a desert in which there's so many mirages, and people are trying to find their happiness in mirages. They're seeing sand as water, and they go for it. And they may even take that sand and get some type of satisfaction temporarily, because this is the power of the mind. Mind is very powerful, right? As they say, the mind can make hell into heaven and heaven into hell. Sometimes we have that experience in the temple. Prabhupada said it's Vaikuntha, but sometimes we see people, they're like, I don't think this is Vaikuntha, I want to get out of here. I remember, of course, we have to keep the atmosphere, Vaikuntha atmosphere. But I would argue that the atmosphere, in many cases, was a very beautiful atmosphere, and people are just like, I want to get out of here. I remember we had one brahmachari, and his brother came to stay. We had a few, I guess it's a common trend. We had Krishna Kumar, his brother came to stay. Hasagrami's brother came to stay. Now we have Mukundacharan's brother coming to stay. So it's a trend. But anyways, Krishna Kumar's brother came to stay, and he just couldn't take it. Like, he was here for something like 2 weeks, but he had to get out of here. And what he did is he went and rented a hotel.
You said he was going to be here 2 weeks?
Yeah. Maybe 4 days, maybe a little longer. But what he said was that, because he went through boot camp. So this is what he said. He just said, this is worse than boot camp. So I got to get out of here. That was his perception. I'm not saying his perception's whatever, but you understand. So So yeah, this is the power of the mind. You could be in a very wonderful place, but it just makes it terrible. So, but whatever the case is, people are desperate, actually. People are desperate for pleasure. They really want to be happy, and therefore they go after these mirages. So again, looking at ourselves, we shouldn't be fooled by the mirages of this world, but we should try to understand, at least intellectually, and we should also have some experience that the real happiness lies in serving Krishna. The real happiness lies in serving Srila Prabhupada. The real happiness lies in serving the devotees and the Hare Krishna movement. And today is a wonderful day in which you have an example of such a self-satisfied, self-realized soul appearing, Lochan Das Thakur. Lochan Das Thakur is a wonderful saint within the tradition, the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, appearing in West Bengal. And Lochan Das Thakur, he, as a very young boy, he was married. That was the system, previous system in India, especially, and historically. So his wife was the system was that the wife was married at a very young age, and she would stay with the parents until she reached a more mature age, and then the husband and wife would move in together like that. So what happened was Lochan Das Thakur, while his wife was too young for them to stay with, she was staying with her parents, he went to go stay with his guru, Narahari Sakar, a great associate of Lord Chaitanya. And he got so absorbed in hearing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda and chanting the holy names, he pretty much forgot about his marriage and his whole village, pretty much, just like forgot. And somehow or other it was brought to his attention that you have to go back to your village, you have a responsibility. You're married. Can't just give it up. That was also the system. You can't just give up, right? But so he goes back to his village, and he forgot where his in-laws lived. So when he gets to the village, he sees one woman fetching water from a well. And he tells her, Mataji, I'm looking for so-and-so house. Can you please inform me of the house? So then she says, yes, it's there. So he goes to the house, and these are apparently his in-laws. And he's asking, where is his wife? And they say, oh, well, she'll be back soon. So then she comes in, and then he recognizes her she was the one who was fetching water, so from the well, you know. So you could guess what happens, right? Does anyone want to guess what happens? Gaura, you have an idea? No. Who said Mahima? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Mahima said it. I didn't say it. I'll say it now, though. For those online, Vanessa, you didn't hear Mahima, but he called her Mataji. So he said that I've called you Mataji. I've seen you as my mother. I've referred to you as my mother. And this just seems that this is how destiny arranged it. And now I can't see you otherwise. So in this way, they didn't carry on with their relationship. And he went back. I know some people don't like that part, but and he went back to Narahari Sakar's ashram, and Narahari Sakar, his guru, instructed him in so many wonderful ways, in terms of music, in terms of poetry, and he instructed him to write a very wonderful book, one of the 3 authorized books of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's biographies. You have Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, a most wonderful book. And you have Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And you have Lochan Das Thakur's book, Sri Chaitanya Mangal. And his guru wanted him to write in very poetic, easy to understand language for common people of Bengal. So that's what he did. So we have that book available in ISKCON. It's a wonderful book. Describes so many things of Lord Chaitanya. So, and he composed many songs, and Srila Prabhupada liked singing those songs. Specifically, Srila Prabhupada would sing a number of times. What's the song? Parama Karuna Bahudvi Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra, which is a song glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu as the most benevolent or most merciful incarnations, and that they're freely giving love of Krishna. And so yeah, it's a beautiful song that Srila Prabhupada would sing, and he wrote a commentary on that song. And one of the things that Lochan Das Thakur says in that song is he says, do not think that this chanting and dancing will not bring you to perfection. It will. And then one devotee, contemporary, like in these times, contemporary devotee, made a comment on that. He said, it will. And then you could guess what the comment is, right? Anyone want to guess? Mahima, you're on a roll. What's the comment? It will if we do it. It'll work if we do it. So, anyway, Srila Prabhupada would sing this song, and when he was in his first time to South America, first and only time to South America, actually, Caracas, Venezuela, Srila Prabhupada sang this song, Parama Karuna, and he went into ecstasy. Crying and which Srila Prabhupada would generally not do publicly. And after that, Srila Prabhupada went to Miami, and then Srila Prabhupada went to Atlanta, Georgia. And there was a similar case with Srila Prabhupada in Atlanta, Georgia, where he sang the song, he sang the full song, Parama Karuna, but then he started to speak. And when he spoke, he started to say that, yes, I have been to Caracas, I've been to Miami, and I could see that your temple is the best. And all the devotees say, Haribol, Jai, your temple's the best. So he was saying that about Atlanta. And then Srila Prabhupada started to talk about the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, and we could see that Srila Prabhupada was overwhelmed in his realization, or his understanding of that mercy, which is full realization, full understanding of that mercy, and that so many souls were taking to Krishna consciousness from very, we would say, or especially the traditional Brahmins of India, the traditional Brahmins of India, and other such persons would say, from a very degraded backgrounds that they think that you'd have to take birth again just to even start the process of Krishna consciousness. Meat eating and all these other things. So Srila Prabhupada was overwhelmed, and he was feeling himself, as we read from his poetry, Srila Prabhupada's poetry, he was feeling himself to be a puppet, actually, in Krishna's hand, that Krishna was directing his movements like a puppet. So in this way, he was feeling ecstasy, thinking of Lord Chaitanya. And then he couldn't speak anymore. And he said, so therefore please take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and be happy. So we hear that, and this was based on Lochan meditating on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy as described in Lochan Das Thakur's song, whose appearance day is today. So I'd just like to, it was going to be a 20-30 minute lecture, I suppose, but it was cut down to 2 minutes, I believe. So I'd just like to share that audio clip with all of you. And then Naveen has it. So you can listen of this Atlanta arrival. Let's see here. Volume's up. Okay. All right. Let's see how it works. I'll put it into the microphone.
So, I'm very glad to see you, and I'm coming first of all Mexico City.
Yes.
So Mexico City, then Caracas, then Miami. I see your temple is the best. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind. Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana. 2 lords, Nitai Gaura Chandra, Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are very kind. They have appeared just to reclaim the fallen souls of this age. So, they are more kind than Krishna. Krishna, he is also very kind. He comes to deliver. But Krishna demands, first of all, surrender. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not demand surrender. He is so kind. So, take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be happy. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was Srila Prabhupada in Atlanta. That was February 28th, 1975. So, oh really? There you go. Mogalila. So, Mogalila's birthday. So yes, it's Lochan Das Thakur's appearance. So we could meditate on that song Parama Karuna and read Prabhupada's commentary. Okay, does anybody have any question? Yes, Dravida Prabhu.
If you would allow me, I'd like to sing that song.
In English?
Yes.
All right.
When I started trying to put this in English, I said, Parama Karuna. Wait a minute. Super compassionate. It's got the same beat. So that's how I start the song. Super compassionate are these 2 golden lords, Nitai, Gaura, Chandra. They are the best of lords, crest jewels of... I'm a little high, sorry. Super compassionate are these 2 golden lords, Nitai, Gaura, Chandra. They are the best of lords, crest jewels of avatars, founts of pure bliss and deep wonder. So that's the refrain, so I'm going to sing that between each. All friends, just worship them, Chaitanya Nitai, fixing your mind with firm faith. Give up all sense pleasure, dive in the sea of bliss, chant Hare Hare today. And super compassionate are these 2 golden lords, Nitai, Gaura, Chandra. They are the best of lords, crest jewels of avatars. Sorry. Founts of pure bliss and deep wonder. Okay, a little more. Brothers and sisters within the three worlds, there is no one as kindly as they. Even the birds, stones, and animals weep in bliss when they hear talks of their trades. Super compassionate are these two golden lords, Nitai, Gaura, Chandra. They are the best of lords, crest jewels of avatars, founts of pure bliss and deep wonder. O mind, just hear me if you do not attain. All mind, just hear me if you do not attain any desire for their service. Yama will punish us, causing us endless pain. This is what Lord Chanda says. And super compassionate are these two golden lords, Nitai, Gaura, Chandra. They are the best of lords, crest jewels of avatars, founts of pure bliss and deep wonder.
Jai Hare Krishna. Yeah, I had in my mind that I wanted to ask you to recite that, so I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, I remember hearing that. So this, it's a beautiful song and saying the birds, the birds, the stones, everybody's crying in ecstasy, hearing the traits of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, and saying that give up all sense pleasure and just engage yourself in Harinam Sankirtan, dive into the ocean of bliss, and how these are so merciful avatars, most merciful avatars. It's interesting at the end because it's very sweet and like compassionate, and at the end Lochanda says something like very heavy. He's like, yeah, but if you don't develop a service for them, then Yamaraj is going to punish you with endless pain. Yeah, punish us. Yeah. It's like really heavy, at the end. So, anyways. All right, Krishna. So, any other question or comment or addition? What about Vanessa? You have something? Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, so one thing is that, just a quick announcement. So, we have two sisters here, Ebony and Evelyn. So they have stayed in the temple for the last 3 months, which, it's not easy to do. Well, according to that guy, it was worse than boot camp, so I guess it's very difficult to do. But, so it's not an easy thing to do, stay in the temple for 3 months. So, they managed to do that. So that was, today they are exiting the temple, going out into the world to be victorious. So, in a humble way. So we thank them for joining for that time, and we wish them well. Dravida Prabhu, would you like to say anything about that? Appreciation or blessings or anything? Any words of encouragement?
Well, I have to be honest. I feel blessed that they were here, because especially the way they dance together. You could tell they're really twins, and just the enthusiasm and their obvious enthusiasm for Krishna consciousness. And I asked them, I heard you were going, but I heard you were coming back too, at least for a visit, right? No plans on that?
I mean, it seems that they're both. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for spending time here and enlivening everybody.
Okay, so we could just chant one Hare Krishna mantra for them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. question is, why did Srila Prabhupada say the Atlanta temple is the best? Now, according to some devotees, Srila Prabhupada would say that about different temples, with the idea of encouraging and enlivening the devotees. And yeah, you could say Krishna consciousness becomes better and better and better. So like, if someone was to say, yeah, this was the best burfi I've ever had. I mean, you could say it maybe, yeah, you could say it in actually all ways, that things get better, 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 and even for pure devotees. There's always, so, but Prabhupada was seeing it like that. Yes, this is the best. You know.
And you know who was there? Nirantara Prabhu asked that famous question, what pleases you the most? And Prabhupada says, of course they all expect, it's full of book distributors, that whole atmosphere. And everyone expected, oh, Prabhupada's going to tell us book distributors. No, when you love Krishna is a famous thing. But Nirantara, you notice, he picked that up. He always says, this is the best temple when he comes here. I don't know if he says it to every time. Totally, totally. I wasn't there, but I heard about it. Yeah, they, you know, they had these buses with full of devotees, you know, and they all knew Prabhu was coming back, and they all landed there, you know. So it's, yeah.